Well, back now to our coverage of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to China. Mr. Putin is beginning his second day in China, where he was welcomed Thursday with a military band ceremony and met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders pledged to deepen their strategic partnership, all as Moscow's troops advance in Ukraine. Many observers, of course, wondering just how deep that partnership will go and what it may mean in Ukraine and elsewhere. Well, for more on this, I want to welcome Michael Herson. He is the head of China's research at 22V Research and previously led the Eurasia Group's coverage of China. Thanks for being with us.
Great to be here.
So this is Putin's first overseas trip since starting an unprecedented fifth term as president of Russia in obviously tightly controlled elections. And he's seen cozying up to the Chinese leader. Is this trip less about agreements and policies and more about the optics?
I think it is very much about the optics. And there was a lot of pomp here, including a new strategic partnership signed between the two sides. But I think it serves both Putin's interest and Xi Jinping's interest to show political support, but on China's side, without necessarily crossing over some of those red lines that the West has drawn in terms of material support for Russia's military.
Of course, Russia is making more gains on the battlefield in Ukraine. He's opened up a new front in this war. European leaders have tried to sway Xi Jinping away from his support for Russian military expansion. Why don't they have more sway when you consider the trade? We've got a graphic here I just want to bring up. The trade between Europe and China far outweighs the trade between China and Russia. So why doesn't Europe have more sway here?
I think partly it's because, from Beijing's perspective, they can't afford to see Putin lose this conflict. They don't necessarily need to see Russia win, but they don't want to see Putin lose badly. They don't want to see him destabilized in terms of his politics. And you're right that it's come at a major cost to the China-Europe relationship. And I think there are some in China who think that's maybe not the right calculus to have taken. But I do think that need to shore up support for Putin, having committed to this partnership, is first and foremost for China's leadership at this stage.
And of course, the US has also threatened sanctions, saying that you can't fuel what is the biggest threat to Europe. The Chinese leader, though, was heard on Russian television saying that he is looking forward to the restoration of peace and stability. What do you think he's saying behind closed doors to Putin?
I think that Beijing is probably quite open with Russia, and I think Russia understands some of the red lines in terms of actually providing direct support for Russia's military. Now, there are a lot of blurry lines there. China is clearly providing a lot of economic support and a lot of support that falls into this, gray area of dual use. So I think the two sides will continue to, or Russia and China will continue to find ways to cooperate, but there will be some level of pragmatism and awareness that for China there are some economic and financial risks, as you said, from sanctions if they go too far.
And of course, Donald Trump hasn't been clear on whether he wants Ukraine or Russia to win this war. The US election is rapidly approaching. How do you think that election and the outcome will impact the relationship between China and Russia?
That presidential election is definitely something that's on the minds of China and Russia. I think they realize that the U.S. wouldn't necessarily flip 180, but certainly U.S. policy towards this conflict will change if President Trump is reelected. At the same time, I think, because of the Ukraine conflict, because of the schism that it's drawn between Russia and the West, China and the West, this China-Russia relationship is going to be strong for the long term. I think, there's no going back to the pre-Ukraine crisis in terms of the strength of that relationship.
All right, Michael Herson, great to get your perspective. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Well, Russia's war in Ukraine also appears to have played a role in the assassination attempt on Slovakia's prime minister. The suspected gunman has been identified as Yurei C., a 71-year-old man. The interior minister said he was angry over Slovakia's decision to stop military aid to Ukraine. Prime Minister Robert Fico is in a stable but serious condition after being shot 5 times on Wednesday.